Wow. Okay. That always puts me in the best of moods. Welcome to Miracle Monday. I'm your host, Joan of Angels, and I'm excited to talk to you tonight about strategies to lift humanity, to lift yourself, your family, your loved ones, your pets, your community, your teachers, your fellow workers, all from the inside of your own home and from your own consciousness. Doesn't that sound great? So, guys, I'm Joan of Angels. If you're new to my channel, I'm really happy you're here. And I want to say thank you because we have been growing. We actually grew in the last week over 300 people. I'm just like super jazzed. And that's because some of you have been just hopping on and loving our work. So thank you. So I'm your guide to stepping into the miraculous, guys, and also on Miracle Monday. And my purpose, and I'm sharing this with you tonight because we're going to talk about your purpose too, but my purpose is to heal, inspire, uplift the world, and help each and every one of you remember why you're here and your purpose and mission so that you can do what you came here to do. So that is my mission, and it was confirmed, by the way, by the extraterrestrials, and I'm going to tell you all about that in a few minutes. So please like, subscribe, and share to the channel so we can continue to grow. Oh my God, it was a record week. I'd love to have another record week. And that was exciting. But many of you wonder what your purpose is, why you're here, what your special gifts are. And if you go over to my website at joanofangels.com, you will get a free ebook about what you're here to do. But also more, you'll have access to some of my special content as I go forward, and the services and the events, as well as the class that I have up there. So go over there. It's free. Also, if you're already on my other email list, I'm not going to be doing that much longer, so you need to get on the new one. All right. Now, what else do I want to tell you? Oh, yes. When I sat and meditated on Friday, and I was asking Spirit, what shall we talk about? Because I always ask, what shall we talk about? And I realized that we needed to talk about the state that we are in, the state the planet is in, the state our hearts are in. And so that's how we got that title, One Love, of Strategies for Humanity. So you're all here in the right place. So we have Avon in the house, and many of you have met Avon. He's my extraterrestrial super ambassador here on planet Earth, here to help humanity, by the way. And he does a very good job of it. As my guide, my personal guide, I want you to be able to see him more. Come on, smile at the people. He's very serious. And he actually has come down here with a wife and 2 kids, some kind of pet, sort of like a dog. We can't see it, but they are here to help hold and stabilize our planet as we hold and stabilize. And there is, in case you've not noticed, a spiritual warfare afoot, a polarizing dark versus light, a polarizing truth versus lies, right versus left, vaxxed versus unvaxxed. And we haven't gotten to male versus female, but there is that undercover war that's gone on too. All right. And as I'm going to go this, one of the things that we always do, which is my favorite thing to do, is create that group consciousness. So let me know where you're from again. Oh, we already have a few who've let us know. She's from New Haven, Connecticut. She used to be from California less than a month ago. And there she is from New Haven. So we're spreading our roots out all the way to Australia. And that makes me very happy. So here's how it's going to go tonight. I am going to do 3 readings, and I will let Tina know when she can pick those people. And Tina has some secret formula that I don't know, because if I had my way, I would do readings for all of you. But stick around, and 3 of you will get your readings today. Good. And we have Oklahoma in the house, I see. Who else is in the house? What what persons, places, and things, where are we from? Because we will plant that antenna in Minnesota with our friend Joan, and we will plant it in Canada with our friend Patricia, and we will plant it in Oklahoma. We will plant it in Australia. We'll plant it in Pennsylvania, where I know Tina is from. And can you already see it around the planet? Yes, around the planet, okay? As if I'm going to show you how we can imagine these beams of light as if we were sitting where I'm sitting out in space, all right? So here I am in a very exalted, privileged place of being able to look at Earth over there, okay? And just capture that glimpse. I think it's Earth. I'm hoping it's Earth. Could be the moon. I don't know, because I see all the stars behind it too. But we're from the other outside looking down, okay? And so when we look at the planet itself, and we can imagine each and every one of you around the world as beams of light shooting out, okay? You will begin to see and energize this concept that we can raise the vibratory frequency of our planet. We raise it by personally raising our own vibration, healing ourselves, and thus we become that tower. So that is one of the ways. So we're going to get started, and we are going to do a prayer for everyone. It's been a particularly hard week. There's been a lot of mandates that are going on around the world. I want to address that, and a lot of protests around the world, around the globe for humanity. And so these are prayers for each and every one of us to have the strength to see clearly, to have the strength to know the truth, to have the strength to see through the lies and deception from the media and from our government and from agencies that we have grown to trust. We ask right now that we be filled, surrounded, and protected with the light. We ask for clarity, wisdom, and understanding that we can raise our own frequency so that we can walk the path that we came here to do with confidence, with joy, with humility, that we can raise our spirits, that we can trust that that which is unfolding is that which is for the highest good. For we know that when we turn our sights to source, when we raise our own frequency and light, when we walk in the truth of our own soul, we become more than ourselves. We become a fifth dimensional being who can see all pathways, who can see all choices, who could look down at the angst upon our planet and know that this too shall pass, but yet know that it is by holding on to the visions and the dreams of who we are collectively and where we are going, and hold firm that we are independent sovereign beings. We hold that we have the ability to choose correctly because we are in right mind. We have the ability to build up our own immunity because we know that health comes from within, clarity comes from within, wholeness comes from within. And we know that we can create our ascension, our transformation of this planet by shifting our vision to that which we are holding dear and not get lost in the mire. Now, am I saying you should ignore what's going on? Of course not. You should pay attention. You should pay attention to that which is unfolding, but know what your truth is and use your power of discernment. because these are trying times. These are beyond trying times, and dark forces are at play with light forces. Probably the easiest way for me to say it. So we ask right now for a healing of your heart, a healing of the angst that began when this pandemic began. Because the angst that happened, that was the day that you suddenly discovered that you were no longer free to work, no longer free to shop, no longer free to be you, that you had to wear masks, or that you had to listen to others about a global pandemic. Remember what you were doing on that day. Now, I remember really clearly, dear ones, I was just about to sign a contract with Mr. B at the Miracle, and I was going to be his little miracle consultant, miracle advisor. Very excited about it. And that was the very day that Mr. B came out. You know, I left that contract on his desk in the morning, and Mr. B came out in the afternoon, looking gray, I must admit. And he said, Joan, I'm about lose hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is not going to work right now. And so it was all about timing. But the pain that I felt in my heart, okay, that pain, each and every one of us felt a pain. Down the street was this amazing Indian restaurant she had just opened 2 weeks before, okay? So for those who opened new businesses, for those who opened new restaurants, for those who had events and things that you were dreaming of, your job, your life, we want to just ask to hold space, to have a moment of compassion for ourselves and for the people that we lost, the friendships that might have been torn apart this year, the divisions that are happening in families. We ask for a healing of our hearts. And so we want to take this big heart of ours, okay, that was so impacted, and hardly anyone ever addresses the trauma, the acute post-traumatic stress disorder that everyone in the community is feeling, because I've been trying to figure out why so many people are programmed, are under the influence of a mass hypnotic programming. And I'm going to talk more about this tomorrow with Lola Ford, whose music, monatomic music, is sensational in the higher hertz frequencies. And she is going to tell us all about it, about how we break the programming by music as one way, or other ways too, what we're going to be discussing. So we break the programming for all by our heart, okay? And we acknowledge our sorrow. We acknowledge the sadness. And then we have compassion. We have love for ourselves. We have love for everyone else, because it has not been an easy transition. And nor has the transition to what is going on right now with the shots. We don't want to say anything else about it, but the transition has not proved easy, because it is not the end all, be all, end all. So what is the solution? I always get back to this. The solution comes from us and from our heart. And when I was asking Yvonne, I said, well, what do the galactics think about this? Okay. He wanted us all to know that they are watching very carefully, guys. They are watching down here on Earth extremely carefully. Look, we have a little breakthrough. Breakthrough consciousness is going through him. But they want us to know that they are with us every step of the way, that we are going through the growing pains of being a lower vibrational planet. We are known as having been a prison planet. Many souls have been trapped here. And in this process of being free and of freeing ourselves from the illusion and the trap, the trap of those who are the earth controllers. So in seeing through the illusion of all of this, okay, he says to understand that in this process of ascension and transformation in this process of lifting our planet from the third dimensional up to the fifth. We must work from the heart. We must hold this vision of what is for the highest good of all concerned. And we must know that since these are the end times, this 2020-21, these are the times for which we've been preordained and forewarned. We were born for this. You were born for this. You were given every skill you need to work this. And yes, we refuse to work with the lowest frequencies, and we have to learn to recognize it. We have to learn to recognize it. We have to learn to discern the truth. Discernment is a thing I teach in my intuition class, but we have to learn how to know, as my daughter used to say, well, my daughter has a good SHI blank blank detector, and she used to say that I didn't. And she was right, because in those days I believed everything until I learned that art of discernment. Why? Because in order to lift up humanity, we have to raise our personal frequency. And don't try to lift up humanity until you've started working on your own vibrational frequency. So take a peek at it now on a scale of 1 to 10 and put your comments in the corner here. Where is your own personal vibrational frequency? How high is it? When I get on this show, I tell everyone I work it. I spend my time before I hop on with Tina. I raise my vibration. I even check with my pendulum, which I say, okay, how high is Joan of Angel's vibration? Now, let me explain that, because you too can do this work. When I come on the show, it's not my personal little self, Joan, because as my sister says, she says, I know the real Joan. And, you know, you've got flaws, all right? You're not perfect, sweet petunia here. You have flaws. You're human, okay? But when I show up on these shows, or when I do a reading, or when I teach, my mission is to raise my own vibratory frequency out of 10. So, and then part 2 of that is I'm committed to having your energy shift and raise by the end of the show. So a few years ago, back in 2013 or 14, I had a past life, not a past life regression. I had a hypnotic, my God, I can't even say it. Do they not want me to say it? Yes. Okay. I wanted to know about my contact with extraterrestrials. So I had a regression, and I'm so happy to see all my friends. New Jersey is now in the house. And by the way, that reminds me, our prayers need to include everyone around this globe who's suffering, whose town, who are personally suffering from any of the weather tragedies that have fallen around our country, the fires in California, and anything yet to befall, the earthquakes, the water that's happening in China. We send our prayers around the world for healing. So back to my story. I was living in Baja, California, and I was called there to start a group called Baja Paranormal. And so I had many extraterrestrial speakers. Maybe they were extraterrestrials. They were hybrids coming down to speak at my events. And I would have dreams all the time that I was in a ship. And I would see the ship, and I would see beings on the ship, and these ships would in the daytime be like saucer clouds over the house. In fact, there'd be 6 in the sky over the Baja Peninsula, not moving the entire day. And then I'd go to bed at night and I'd see them, right? So I'd see the ships, I'd see this ladder for me to walk up to the ship. It was quite exhilarating, okay? Now, I move to California, and I meet Yvonne Smith, and she does these regressions on your extraterrestrial contact. So I asked her in the first regression, I said, why did tell me what happened in Baja? I didn't want to go back to my childhood yet. Okay. Tell me what happened in Baja. So she starts, she didn't tell me. Of course, I had to tell me. So I go into the regress state, and suddenly I see myself on a ship. And I know that it's one of those cloud saucer ships. And everyone on this little ship is sound asleep. They are sitting in their chairs with their head like this, okay? Sound asleep. Now, this saucer ship is connected to the mothership. I cannot see the mothership. I can't see the mothership, but I can sense it, right? So there's a mothership over these 6 ships. And I'm on a platform. Everyone's asleep. I'm standing facing them, my best position. I love the audience, but they're asleep. And I'm on a podium, and there's a person on a chair in front of me. This person is sound asleep. Now, I'm going to tell you what I'm doing, but I'm going to preface it by saying that for most of after my 20s and 30s, after I became a chiropractor, I would always tell people, I'm turning on your power. I'm raising your vibrations. I'm turning up your light. Of those 3 things, I tell everyone, turning up your light, your power, your vibration. So this is what I've said forever. So what I suddenly find out that what am I doing? I am raising the vibratory frequency of the person asleep on the chair. And my mission, my instructions are that I'm first to raise the vibratory frequency of everyone on the ship. And then I'm to raise the vibratory frequency of everyone across the planet. And I went, oh my God, holy moly, macaroni, this is too much. I'm one person. I went, I'm one person. You're talking about 7.5 billion people. And I actually let it out, I think, in the regression as a scream. And the next thing I know, I saw 2 people on the ship. One of those people happens to be Shima Moore, who I've had on my shows before, the astrologer, and she's also one of the founders of Conscious Life Expo. The second person was someone from Conscious Life Expo, a man by the name of Thunder, who had created these ways of going around the world and healing the planet using the internet, really, turning it into those positive vibes. So they told me that I had agreed not to leave the planet. I was to do every single person on the planet. And they sent me help. Now, I have a website that I've never done anything with, or a domain name called Global Miracle Project. And what I realized is that recently this Global Miracle Project is getting activated. I don't know what it is yet, but it has to do with raising the vibratory frequency of every single person on the planet. Raising it so high that, number one, we know that when light enters a room, dark cannot exist in the same room as light. Number 2, the more light there is on the planet, the dark portals, well, they get sent back into that portals, and the portals can get closed, okay? Closed, sealed off, never to be opened again. We collectively have that power. So when we collectively raise our vibrations to that 10, and then we imagine collectively that we are encircling this planet, I think that's why they call me Joan of Angels. I can actually imagine the angel brigade, and I have several paintings about the angel brigade encircling the planet right here. So it's a very exciting thing. Because as the angelic ones and the star beings too are here, exactly where I am, they probably have a chair right up there in the heavens, right, looking down. They do. I know they do. So, but as they're circling the earth, okay, there's a light, 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 light. And that energy weaves itself together in etheric threads. And so I will say these are the etheric threads of healing the planet and raising those vibratory frequencies, because, you know, when the celestial energies fall, they trickle down to the earth. So that's what one of the inner purposes of Miracle Monday is about. Okay. About raising your frequency, my frequency. Now, if I'm a 10, when I start, by the time I'm done, I'm about 1,011. 1111. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's number 4, by the way, which is creating foundations. Yes. Now, those are the energies. Now, when you create those energies in your home and in your world around you, your house and home can become a portal, just like our friend just said over here. His home has a portal. And I didn't know I had a portal, not actually a porthole, it's a portal. I didn't know it until one night. I can't explain what happened. I was doing a show, I was meditating, and the lights were very, very weird and strange. And I looked up and I saw it was dead center in the living room, right through one of my paintings. And each and every painting is a portal. So when you walk in, okay, you feel those energies and those vibrations, okay? When you have those vibrations and you're that 10, then remember you're raising your 10 acres. And at that 10, you are certainly raising the frequencies of hundreds of people around you, let alone maybe even your neighborhood. So when we walk in that confidence, we know the truth about who we are. So the second key I'm giving you is to start to feel the energy around you. And I've given lots of tools in some of the other Miracle Mondays and on the YouTube channel of raising that vibratory frequency. But we're going to talk about 2 things, and then I'm going to do 3 readings. 2 things. I started with the heart. So let's go back to the heart, okay? How do we do healing with the heart? So, okay, and the second part of that is, well, we do tuning and healing with the heart by aligning with the frequency of the earth. So let me share with you, earth has its own tone. Earth has its own frequency. If you could hear the earth, you would hear it as a low tone. In fact, I don't know, maybe Lola will have that information for us, but earth has its own hum. The problem is that humans are the least in tune with the hum of the earth. We don't hear it. The animals hear it. The birds hear it. The insects hear it. The trees feel it. The plants feel it. The bees feel it. They all feel it. We don't feel it. Because as humans, we have shut off our connection to source. Because to live in our 3D planet, which is the other reason I like being above, requires sometimes stepping out of our 5th dimensional nature, our angelic frequency, our star being energy, and deal with planet Earth and all that happens down there. So coming from the heart will allow us, and beating with the earth's pulse, allows us to harmonize with ourselves and with each other. So right now, I want you to imagine and feel your own heartbeat, okay? And I'm hearing my own, as they wanted me to exaggerate. It's like boom, chicka boom, but we're not going to quite, but maybe that's their way of slowing me down. So boom, boom. That's beautiful because yes, those heart receptors, those 20,000 neuroreceptors that are in our heart are the same receptors that are in our brain. And so when we open up that channel from our heart to our brain, from our heart to our intuitive voice, we can open up this entire consciousness. So feel your own rhythm. Send that antenna that we talk about down to the center of the earth. Send those roots down to the center of the earth. and those antennas up to the heavens right now. Still feeling your heartbeat, feeling that pulse with both feet flat. Do it later on the earth. Do it later. Feel it out under the sky. Your feet on the grass or in the sand or on the earth. And you send the roots down. Your antenna up. And you feel it coming down and through you. Beating to the pulse of the earth. And then you can take that antenna and literally imagine that you're tuning it up like a tuning fork. And if you are privileged to have that tuning fork, put it right here. So it balances and harmonizes until you understand what it is the tone that runs through you. Whether you're a C or a D or an E or an F or an F flat or a G, what is your tone? Meanwhile, we spread our heart. We start to feel this. We start to feel it expanding, getting bigger in our body, growing larger, growing bigger, outside our body, growing bigger. So we can see it in front of us. We can see it all around us. We can see that we are in the middle of this giant, throbbing, pulsing heart that gets bigger and bigger and bigger, sending out love, sending out compassion, sending out healing, sending out oneness, sending out transformation, certainty, and clarity, knowingness that we are who we are, that we can trust ourselves, that we can trust our voice, that we will have the courage to stand up for our truth, to stand up for our belief that we are in the right place at the right time to do the work that we came down from the heavens above to do right now, that we've been called for the now to do exactly what we came here to do. Your soul has the answers you have always known. When we know, we confirm it. We wake up. You who are here with me, it is no accident that right now, Miracle Mondays, 7 p.m. Pacific time, a call for awakening for humanity has gone out. Your soul has heard the call. You know that you are here to help humanity and help lift for the all, because that is the only way to change the frequencies down below. We're not going to win a physical war with guns, with nuclear weapons. The weapons we have are the weapons that come from above down, the transformation that occurs from the inside out. The work I'm doing with you tonight, the work that we are doing, will raise your frequency. So we are all that one. We are one. We are here to actually have fun. But the fun begins when we have one as one. So remember, you are here for a huge purpose exactly right now in time. So, how was that? Did you like that, guys? Because that was Avon and our guides just doing their thing. So I would like to do my first reading, Tina. My heart is ready. My soul is ready. So let's bring it on. If you want a reading, let Tina know. She is, in this case, the gatekeeper in a good way, because her heart is so aligned with each and every one of you. She loves being in the back room here. Once in a while, she lets me bring her out to wave, but she knows who needs those readings, and we're going to trust that she is going to find that. John Johnson. So first of all, John, do you know that the letter J is the number 1 numerologically? So you are a double 1, J. Johnson, number 1. Powerful, which is why you can say truthfully that you have worked and know who you are. J, also the derivative of Joan and John, okay? Joan is the derivative of John, means God is gracious, gift of God. So knowing that you're a gift of God, John, and that is true, here to it's not your own, being that channel or that paintbrush or that, messenger that flows through each and every one of you for those messages, that work, that wisdom that you are to bring. So the other thing I also want to say to you, John, is that there's a wing in heaven for all the J's. Now, don't panic, everyone else, if you're not a J. But I was told this particularly for the J's because I am one. They want to reassure me. So I always reassure every J out there, including Joanne, every J, that there's a wing in heaven for us, but your room's not ready. Okay? Oh, yeah. But they did say the kind of suite you get is determined by like the good karma points that you've earned. They never told me that before. So I think, John, that was specifically for you. Okay? Right? Okay. So I am pulling a card for you, John. I'm going to call you John. John has a cute little new puppy, by the way, guys, and he takes the puppy out on his kayak, and I don't think the dog is quite used to swim. It probably is learning to swim quite well. So give us a feedback on your doggy. But John, they want you to know something. And guys, these 3 cards are going to represent cards for all of you because they really are the collective whole. So every journey starts with the first step. And that is a big one. All right, the first step. Because sometimes the first step is the hardest. So it's kind of like this. I allow the paperwork in my house to pile up until it's like this. And then I don't want to start. And then it's too hard to start. And I never want to start. So today, I must have actually felt that the card would be for me too, because today I actually cleaned off my desk. But it began with that first step and breaking through any resistance you have. So today's the first day of the rest of your life. Okay, your journey begins now, the journey into the higher frequencies and the higher vibration, John. So for JJ, for John, no. Oh yeah, and the card is a 3, which is all about communication. So you're going through a lot of changes. Be at peace. You're doing the work. And I see that you are positively impacting others and your family and keeping a calm soul. So that's good. We're happy about that. All right. So give us feedback. Also, let us know how your dog's doing in the water. Yeah, he's cutie. All right. Good. So it's been a while since I've done readings for people, and it makes me very happy to tune in and to do that. So give me a second, Leslie. I want to just shift my energy for a second. So this is kind of crazy, and let me know if this sort of fits, but I had a quick vision that you were doing your work in a way that was like you're coming out. You're showing yourself who you are. You're allowing your light to shine. And it was a big move. It wasn't like just a little, oh yeah, I'm going to peek and look out. It was big, brave, and bold. So let me know if that does fit. And I always like to have confirmations of the work that I do, of the readings that I give you guys, because it really sort of moves my soul. So that was one of the things I said. And so let's see what this card says. And now that's interesting. I'm told to pull from the Sacred Traveler deck for you. So, and that goes along with for John, we pulled every journey begins with its first step. If my calling you John offends you, please say something before I put my foot in my mouth 100 times. Okay. So we're pulling a card right now for our friend Leslie. And what does that say over there? Can you put the comment we just got up from Leslie so I can see it? Okay. All right. So that was where you are. Fantastic. Yeah, I just dropped in and it was like, you were just like, yes, I'm ready. And okay, the card I pulled for you is embracing enthusiasm. Shout to the heavens with happiness. And that is what I actually saw you doing was, I guess that's a shout to the heavens with happiness. So let us know, number one, if you have been embracing your enthusiasm. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, I want compliments or feedback. You know, embracing enthusiasm, a shout out to the heavens with happiness. So, all right, guys. Now, remember I said this is maybe for Leslie, but it's also for us. So how do we change our energy, change the energies? We shout out to the heavens with happiness. We don't want to shout out with misery because then they're going to give us more and more and more of the same. So I am so glad that these readings are landing with people and that it's cool with you and that it fits. Yes, yes. Make my heart sing. All right. So we're going to up the number. We're going to do, instead of just one more reading, Tina, because I know she's going to have trouble figuring. Just ask the guides to show you, honey, but we're going to do 2 more readings. Okay. That's if you guys like these readings. All right. If it was a good reading. Okay, so we're going to do Claudia Gonzalez. So interesting. So I know I was sitting like this contemplating, but I had a vision of you kind of contemplating, exploring what your options are, where you're going, what is your next step, what it is that you're wanting to do. You feel like a very thoughtful person in choosing and deciding what you're doing, where you're going. So let's see what this card has for you. And again, always let me know. As an intuitive, guys, I'm not a psychic. Although people come to me for psychic readings, I'm not necessarily a psychic. I'm an intuitive. So I get there by seeing pictures and images and then confirming them so that I could go deeper into those file cabinets into them. Or sometimes I'll do people's birth path, but not today. So Claudia, you are crossing bridges. It is time for healing, connecting, mending, and releasing. And isn't that interesting? Crossing bridges. I would say that's another way for us also, another kind of tool for humanity to raise the frequency of humanity is to see us as crossing these bridges and crossing the bridges between all the conflicts, people, places, and things, stretching beyond, actually a bridge between heaven and earth. But also being that bridge for healing, being that bridge for mending, being that bridge for aligning and coming back together again. I really do feel that this card is both for Leslie and for all of us to continue our prayers for us and for humanity. Knowing, as I started and I said, look, it was quite a blow, to find our lives had to stop. And to find that our lives are not going to normal freedoms again. To find that there's control over what you're thinking, what you're doing, what you're putting into your body. To find that people around the world are struggling also in the same ways. To know that people are standing up for their truth. So this is actually not a place to be gray. There's a place to be black and to know what your truth is and to bridge communities, as Canella is saying over there. It's a guideline to stretch your boundaries using your heart and your wisdom and understand that there are many people who are programmed right now and who are under serious programming via media and other things, the government, the pharmaceutical companies. So it's self-love, self-care, self-healing, taking a leap of faith, so you can discern the truth about what you feel, what you know to be true. And I don't always talk about the politics of life because that's so 3D. But what I do talk about is how it impacts us. Okay? And it impacts us in a way that's, number one, you're being forced to decide what you believe in. So I am going to say that that's a good thing. That's a beautiful thing, to know what you believe in and to live in your truth. I see we have a beautiful comment right here. Aloha, namaste, gracias, thank you, obrigata. I don't know what that means, so let us know what that means, but it sounds good, and I say thank you to you. Okay, let's go for our third reading. Yes, we are crossing bridges. We are healing and mending bridges. We are sending prayers of awakening, that those who are under a spell wake up. We are all one. All right, so Dom wants a reading. I think Dom's had one before too. So Dom, it's very, very interesting. D is the number 4. It's the energy of grounding. It's the energy of truth. And what a funny image I have of you. I actually saw you. Well, I had 2 images of you. I'm going to share both. First image was you as a kind of like a knight in shining armor, kind of taking off your hat and bowing down. And the other one, well, it was kind of on that. I just lost it in that second of really going into that knight in shining armor. But definitely pleasing others, leading others on the way, knowing what you're here to do, being grounded in that. A knight in shining armor sort of sees where they're going and understands that everything is a distraction from the goal and sets that intention and that goal. In a certain way, I see your last name, Lynch, very, very interesting. And to me, there's an aspect of Lynch which is like standing up for what you believe, extinguishing that which you don't. So it's really about holding your light tall as well. And that's pretty funny. The card came clear the air, distant thunder. So I wonder if you're hearing that, Dom, where you are. Clear the air, distant thunder. And, there is a distant thunder. In fact, yesterday we had thunderstorms here in the desert, which is always exciting. Very exciting because the air is so, first of all, the temperatures are so high and the air is so electric. I did live in a house when I lived in Arizona, though, that the adjacent part of the house on the other side of the deck was struck by lightning. And all the lights, the power went out. It was pretty scary. So don't get caught in that thunder. All right. But distant thunder, clear the air. All right. I promised one last reading. Let me get on with it. One last reading, Tina. One last reading. It's going to come back from the Sacred Rebel deck. Oh, my beautiful friend Tracy. Aha. Tracy is a member of the Galactic Council and the Angelic Councils. I know that personally. And I can see that painting having merged with you in the wisdom that you keep. Okay. In the wisdom that you do keep, Tracy, I want to tell you that you're being acknowledged for the path that you have chosen. They say you have chosen a path of stepping into the miraculous, and they are acknowledging and honoring you for that. And the card that we got is a very, very beautiful one, and it is affirming your divinity, your goddess femininity, your divine femininity. She feels, she knows. And this is when your heart is beating at the center of the earth, and this is for Tracy, and this is for everyone, and you are aligned, body, mind, and spirit, so you can hear, connected to source, and you can hear. You feel, you know. Repeat after me, everyone. I feel, I know. I feel, I know. I feel, I know. Because in a sense, that's almost like the last card of the whole, I was going to say of the reading. I feel like this Miracle Monday was a reading, a big reading. So I want to review the cards that came up. Okay, we began with embracing enthusiasm. Okay, embracing enthusiasm. No, we began with every journey starts with a single step. Okay, that was John Jones. Every journey starts with a simple step. We have to push through. We embrace our enthusiasm and our passion and our excitement, and we shout to the heavens with happiness, because that is the energy that they will send back to us. If we shout to the heavens with misery, honestly, they'll send back misery. We shout to the heavens with happiness, with gratitude, with knowing the truth that we signed up for this and that they are there for us. They will surround us. We will cross our bridges knowing it's a time for healing, compassion, connecting, mending, and releasing. We will clear the air in our field, and we feel and we know. I feel, I know. I feel, I know, I feel, I know. I like to sing it all, okay? Yes, and we all have a beautiful light, so you can repeat after me. I have a beautiful light. I love to shine my light. So tonight's a night of affirmations and joy and wisdom and gratitude and peace. I hope you loved your readings. I hope that meant a lot and that you were able to, that they resonated and landed, as I've been told is a new age word, did it land with you? And the new journeys I'm hoping that you guys are all on. I want to share a few things. If you can share, subscribe, and help grow the channel, I'd be so happy. The YouTube channel went up like 300 people last week. Some of you are probably some of those new people. I am honored and thrilled you're here and keep giving me feedback. I answer every comment here and on the YouTube channel because I love you all. The second thing I want to ask you and tell you, I have a brand new website, joanofangels.com. So please go to joanofangels.com and sign up, get your free ebook so that you can stay connected with me. I'm not going to be sending out those other mailings. I'll probably be switching mostly to this platform. So any of you that are on my other website, come join me on this one. And third, I want to tell you about our soul awakening sessions, which are designed to help you remember why you're on the planet now, of all times, okay? What your big thing is, what you're here to do, what stands in your way, so that in the end you can feel and you can know. You can feel and you can know. You can have that certainty. And that's what I'm here to do, to help you have that certainty. So guys, I'm Joan of Angels. I love you all. If you saw my interview with Nicholas, that was the highlight of my hosting career and as a guest. And if you have anyone else that you want to have me on, ask them to have me on. I loved my interview with Nicholas, and I will post it here. It was on BitChute, I think, and it was a very powerful, powerful, powerful interview. So to all of you who have come to me from Nicholas, know that he is a true shining light, and so are you. I adore you all. Thank you so much, and have a blessed and beautiful week. I'll see you all for Miracle Monday. Oh yeah, and Lola Ford tomorrow on breaking this programming using music and other therapies, other tools to get our groove on. I love you all. Have a blessed week. Ciao.